Hello and welcome to the AAOL Esports podcast in the Backline. I'm joined by Pat.
Hello.
And Stranger.
Yo.
Today we're going to be talking about a number of things. So like new Overwatch characters, Overwatch League, Blizzard, and any at all with mainly the Megasheet. We're joined also by our guest Mystery. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. We probably should introduce like who we are. That's probably a good step.
Maybe.
There you go, then, Abby.
I'll go first. I'm Abby. I'm one of the AAOL Esports mods. I manage socials and broadcast. And anyway, I'm joined by Pap. Pap, what do you do?
Hello. I'm Pap, and I'm a caster for AOE and also a whole bunch of other Australian organizations. I've been part of teams myself, so I have a little bit of the know-how on how comms or lack of comms work out in teams. And yeah, I love Overwatch. I love Overwatch League as well. So yeah, very glad to be here.
Yeah,
Nice.
and you do cooking streams too, right?
I do. I stream myself cooking. Hopefully, well. I've got an auntie who was a professional chef, so yeah, I love getting those recipes and bringing them to you guys.
Cool.
Yeah, so make sure you guys check out Pap and Prime for Pap.
Prime for Pap. Yeah, Papadaka streams on Twitch if you feel so inclined.
Stranger, what about you?
Similarly like Pat, I'm a caster as well for the Oceanic region. Do kind of the similar thing. We do a lot for AoE and then also some stuff for smaller orgs. I also have my own personal stream where I do casting in my matches that I'm playing with people. Seems to be catching on because I've become like semi-popular in the area, and people are starting to know who I am before I start talking. It's a bit weird to get to that point, but
That's awesome.
quite cool as well. So
Yeah.
hopefully can carry that on and just keep that growth. So
Yeah, I get that occasionally too in like quick play games and comp games. It's like, oh, it's Abby from AoE.
I do as well.
It's weirdly humbling.
I guess it just shows you how big AoE's impact is on the Oceanic scene, like in general. Like so many players are involved now with that many teams.
Yeah. Speaking of impact, we've got Mystery. You run an org, a whole org.
Oh yeah, no, like I forget. I run Leyland Esports. I originally started off with someone, but it's just me now. And yeah, we do fun tournaments. We have 2 teams, one entering AOL, so pretty excited. And unfortunately, we have Pat with us, but you know, we go on.
It's an unfortunate.
So you've got a team entering AOL. I guess we'll find out where they're placed later in the stream. That's going to be last because I do love building suspense very, very much. Yeah, we're talking about interesting things like the new teaser of the Overwatch character that we don't have a name for that is apparently a fox. I'm very excited if it's a fox because that is, if you haven't seen me Discord profile picture, yep, foxes are us. So, Stranger, I'm going to throw you in the deep end. You want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, well, it's looking from it, it's mostly just coming out of the info from the new map, especially with Jeff Kaplan mentioning that stuff about how some minor details in the map were actually going to be important to the lore and to the future of Overwatch. So people have really been picking away at it. And then finding things like 2 fox statues, some scribbling artwork on the wall that has foxes on it as well. So there's kind of like a recurring theme coming out of that. And I think that's what they're kind of hinging off at the moment. But I think we won't really know much more than that until we get to Blizzard online later.
Yeah,
BlizzCon
that was
online, yeah.
That was that new map that came out, right? The like free for all map.
Yeah, really good map.
Kaziaki. We probably should have
I could not guess. I could not guess. I could not tell. I played it for like 5 minutes. Anyone else played it?
Yeah, I honestly, I love it because there's a cat cafe in it, and it's got all the animators and Jeff Kaplan's cat as well, all in like frames in one of the rooms, and it's really fun places to hide and chill out. But the map, it's really good as well because it allows all sorts of heroes. Like there's a place in the center of the map where Bull can just go wild with his grapples, and there's a place like up high for Farah. There's even the return of the cars as well because people love them from Oasis. Oasis University. I don't think it's university, but it is university. Yeah. So Oasis University, people love those cars, and you can still do the whole May Ice trick or Reaper Wraith on top of them and go flying across them as well. So I'm really loving it. Unfortunately, you still get the Petra and Chateau. Still great maps, but I wish I could get my hands a little bit more into the Kaziaki or Kagiaki, whatever it is, that new map, which was apparently as a new not art director, but the guy that was was his art man. Yeah, art man.
Doing the new art man.
Yeah, for his interview or whatever, he had to prove himself. He had to create like his own map from the creative mind that he is. Created this map, and the Overwatch dev team had a look at it and were like, "That's not too bad." And yeah, they decided to implement it into Overwatch and also have a little bit of fun with it, with the whole. Putting the lore in about Genji and the Shimada, more about the Shimada clan.
There's more about
and then
Genji.
there's a rival clan now, and you can also see Hanamura if you look up on the map as well, which I thought was a really cool detail as well. This
Really
is
cool,
like,
that.
sort of like the underground space, except for the cat cafe, where dodgy deals look like they go down.
Especially in that nightclub. The nightclub looks seedy as hell.
It
There's a
looks
nightclub?
seedy.
I don't pay attention to maps. I just play in them. I'm focused on the enemy red characters and not what actually goes on in the map.
Kanazaka, that's the map. Kanazaka.
Sorry
for all my butchering.
There was that that challenge that finished yesterday, right?
Today.
Yeah.
No, today.
Today because we're Oceanic and. Yeah,
we get one extra day.
We're also from the future as well, so we can tell time differently. We know you guys don't know who wins.
So we can tell time, dude. Like,
we can tell time. You guys over in America, you can't tell time like we.
You guys over in America, who are you talking to, Pat? Oh my lord.
Well, look, it's a far-reaching podcast already.
I
like it. Big confidence.
Yeah,
first podcast. We're already going international.
This is a pilot episode, and I'm already shooting for Americas.
Mr. Worldwide. That's Pat.
Damn it! Where's my sunglasses when I need them?
So the tweet that Overwatch, the Play Overwatch account tweeted out, with the correspondence that was sort of like the spoiler for it all, came out quite a while. It actually came out on the 12th of January. And a few people noted when you look at the link through Instagram, it comes up with the Overwatch 2 logo, which might just be like Blizzard has updated their thumbnails for things on their website, or it might actually be a teaser for Overwatch 2. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And I really hope it's a Fox character because that's my new main. I don't care what role it is. I don't care how it plays. That new main. I will die on my hill like Bastion mains.
I mean, Mystery, you and I were discussing earlier about how I think the whole Overwatch player base will riot if it's not support or tank because of the drought that we've felt. Especially support. Yeah. Support more than tank. I mean, tanks had Sigma, but I really... the last one was Brig, and we all know how controversial... No, Bap.
Baptiste. Yeah, it was Baptiste. Yeah, but there's been some nerfs and then some buffs to Baptiste. He's got his whole garage door now, so he's fine.
4K
When was
monitor.
Baptiste released?
It was
like a
after
long
6
time.
I searched
Yeah.
Baptiste release date and it just gives me this movie that's called Baptiste. Hang on.
Well, he is French,
the one.
so
March of
True.
2019.
Oh my god.
Oh,
It's been a
God.
hot minute.
It has
Yeah.
been a hot
What about-
minute since we got a new support.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go. ladies
Well,
and
look,
gentlemen. That's
a
why we
fox
need
doesn't exactly scream tank to me anyway, so I kind of
support,
get the
so.
feeling it's more of a support. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
a
but people said
second
that
hero
about
that has
Echo.
something to do with movement or something. I don't know. That'd be quite cool. Like,
People said Echo was going to be support, but then she ended up being.
yeah.
So maybe
If it's another
these people
DPS hero, it's just everybody's going to.
Wait,
Yeah,
isn't
I think-
Echo a tank? I thought she was just a Reinhardt all the time. Like-
She is
I
in
mean,
my
fair,
games.
yeah.
Oh, she's a mercy in my games.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
you must have fun people
Yeah.
to play with. Anyway, moving on to the next topic, Overwatch League. Pap, I think
segue.
you did a little bit of research already into this.
On the Overwatch League. So there has been a couple of changes to the next season of Overwatch League. One being the timing of when it's going to launch. We don't know the exact date of Overwatch League Season 4, but instead of it being like the February sort of time, we're getting an April release. And of course, Overwatch player base being Overwatch player base, we're grasping at straws here. We're like, oh, maybe because at BlizzCon they're going to announce Overwatch 2, and then immediately everyone's going to switch to Overwatch 2 or something like that. But, I mean, look, I'm still grasping, but I highly doubt it's going to be something as amazing as that. There has been a big structural change. Blizzard says that the 20-team league will split into 2 divisions. One made of teams from Korea and China, and the others from like the North Americas and Europe region. And they'll play against other teams in their region during the regular season. And then at the end, the top teams from each division will then qualify for 4 major tournaments that will happen throughout the season. And the full details and scheduling aren't available just yet, but it's in April sometime, and we know how vague Blizzard always is, so
Brilliant. Yeah.
we'll probably find out like a week before everything's going to go live.
Did they say which April?
They
April 2024.
They should specify
if we're
that.
lucky,
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we're running on Overwatch League 2, Overwatch League 2, Overwatch 2 timelines, it might be a while. So, Mystery, do you watch Overwatch League or not so much? Are you more of a local contenders kind of person?
No, I support my purple team with the LA Gladiators and mainly watch all of theirs, but it was pretty hard last season. They're kind of struggling, but they have their good games, their off games, as does every other team. So yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'll stick with
a lot of teams were struggling last season.
COVID
It was a lot of stress on the players, because they wanted to move to the format where you go between places, between cities, and worst year in history for that plan to come out.
Yeah.
As we all may know.
No one could predict that though, so
Yeah.
No one could,
Yeah.
But it was also crunch time-wise as well, because they still had to fit in all the games, despite losing a month where all the players obviously were reshuffled around and they got everything online. They still had to shove all the games into this 6-month period, and it would have been really, really tough for the players to keep up with the meta, have the coaching, and accommodate, especially with the Blizzard changes as well. I think 2020 also spelled the time for was it hero, not deletions, but you couldn't play it that week.
hero bands.
Hero
bans.
bans.
Hero
And
bans.
at one point,
That was a thing?
At one point, yeah,
Oh my god,
that
it's
was
so
Overwatch
long
League
ago
as well.
now. I
But
completely forgot about that. We had that in AOL.
Yeah, it was even worse for them because, such high tier levels of Overwatch, and the coaches and the players had to learn new metas every single week and every time they played. And that was just, many players left. I mean, the entire Titans team, Vancouver Titans, they had to just disband completely, and a new Vancouver Titans came like midway through the season. It was an absolute shambles.
All right, moving on. Blizzard Online. That's happening soon. Pap, you have the inside scoop, don't you?
I have a little bit. So BlizzCon Online will be from February 19th to the 20th, and because of the whole, just a little virus, especially being still so prevalent in America, everything's going to be online. There's like a virtual ticket that can be purchased, and Jeff Kaplan's promised us for Overwatch news. Stranger, you did say though that there was a sort of leak that maybe there won't be as much as we hope.
Well, yeah, it's like they're quite a prominent like leaker, and they've predicted a lot of stuff. Well, not really predicted. They've known stuff that's actually come to be true, and they've basically come forward and said that the development team don't quite have their stuff together, and so there won't actually be a whole lot to really show off at this event, and that maybe the most we might get is potentially some hero reveals, and that maybe being it, which has really sparked in a lot of people like, what have they been doing? But I think that also it's probably good for them to keep their cards close on this one, you know, and like just reveal a bigger chunk later on. But I think people are most worried about the fact that obviously this new game isn't meant to involve PvE, and we're only really used to the PvP side of Overwatch. So they're worried about how much of that's going to be the game, and like how much effort's been put into each side, and there's a whole lot there to unpack. But yeah, basically people are just really nervous now that they hear about that after all this time. We don't get much at all, and Overwatch 1 hasn't had like a whole lot of love in terms of updates or anything recently. So it's a bit like, if you're not working on this and you're not working on this,
what are you working on?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
So
Overwatch
so people are just a little bit
wild.
nervous.
I mean, I really have massive respect for anyone out there like content creating for Overwatch, because you get
hard.
nothing. you get no new event. Like you get maybe a challenge every now and then, which is, oh yeah, win these 6 games, and then you get a sticker.
If that, you know, maybe a high five.
Yeah, maybe a high five. Good job. But yeah, like being a content creator in Overwatch is just it's not easy. It's like Fortnite, for example. They get content every week. You know, like it's a new skin. There's a new skin there. I mean, there was that Twitch streamer for like he was I think he was Spanish Twitch streamer. He broke the all-time peak record on Twitch. You will never see an Overwatch streamer break the all-time peak record because there's no content for people. He reached something like 2 mil for his like skin drop. Can you imagine an Overwatch League player getting anywhere near that? They wouldn't even get into the tens of thousands.
I'd be lucky to hit 1,000, honestly, at the moment, unless they're like really big, like super or something like that. But yeah, I don't see that. Super or sleepy. I mean, yeah. Also, to lower expectations even further, Jeff Kaplan in that same interview said that, you know, to manage expectations, we're not that close to Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was that meme that came out on Twitter a while ago, and I think it was posted by Crook. I think he's the guy that wears like the balaclava, and is a frog main. It was a screenshot of this the game design behind Overwatch, some kind of book like that on Amazon, and in the description it was like, sneak peek at Overwatch 2, and the book's due to be released in November.
I remember you sending me that.
I hope it's not a sneak peek. I hope this isn't real. Like, please.
Oh, this is a deep dive into Overwatch 2.
Well, also, it wouldn't be the first time though that like an Amazon description was incorrect. Let's
it
say
wouldn't be the first
like,
time an Amazon.
It is correct though, because it's posted by an author that has previously done Overwatch like 1 art books. So it's
Amazon.
Really the same.
Amazon's the one that writes those descriptions, though, aren't they? I'm pretty sure.
No, they post it. Like you send in what
your
description is.
I don't know. I hope it's wrong. I would like. I would like Overwatch 2 to come out this year. Thank you.
Do you think that Overwatch 1's like at that area where it's time to go free to play to try and bolster some player base? Because
Um,
look,
do
Counter-Strike
those
recently did
free
it, and it
weekends.
They do
Yeah.
those free weekends like Mystery. So yeah,
did
is
those
it
actually gain
free
like
weekendable?
Is
I
it free
get.
weekendable?
I guess the problem with that is that Smurfs are pretty rampant
Already.
already.
Yeah.
And you think it's bad now when the LA Gladiators accidentally gave out 20,006 free Overwatch accounts on Twitter. It's going to be so much worse when it goes free to play, especially for those lower ranks of, guys just having a go and ruining that climb that you might have actually had going, or, the GMs just having fun in your gold games, smurfing their heads off. I think it would be utter chaos, honestly, but I do see the financial benefit of it all. More loot box, more money,
more
and at the
loot
end of
boxes.
the day, Blizzard, it is a company. It's certainly a company that's out there to make money. So I wouldn't be too surprised. But they do lots of price drops on Overwatch at the moment.
Yeah. Let's move on to our next topic, the experimental card. So there was an update to experimental, which for those that don't know, I'll hand it over to a stranger to talk about that.
Yeah. They basically nerfed the big three, which people have been complaining about the most in the current
what's
meta.
the experimental card first, though?
So the experimental card is that they've just changed Echo, Tracer, and Zen, trying to balance them at the moment because they're so strong with their burst potentials and stuff. And obviously Discord's been pretty strong for a long time as well, so that's why Zen's been hidden there as well. So the changes are that Echo's Tri-Shot got an ammo reduction, so you have to reload more frequently, which just slows down that burst output. And then the major one is the focusing beam changed from 2.5 seconds long to 2 seconds long, and the idea being that they can more easily burst the low health targets that they normally do, but they can't just eat through like a tanks as easily. They have to be more precise with the use of the ability, and I think that kind of adjustment's really good. It's like very minor, but it like does affect the skill kind of cap of the character a lot, and it lets like the more skilled players use it basically the same, and the guys that are a little less skilled, they have to they'll have to get a little more honed in on that ability before it just melts through a tank line for no reason. The other one on Tracer is that they changed the pistols, so it's all about damage fall off. They reduced basically the damage range where you hit your most ideal damage. So with Tracer, then you have to manage your distancing a lot better. It's just another thing to like try and like adjust her how she operates, because right now she's very good at the high skill levels again, but I think I'd actually argue that at the lower tier she's not really like at the lower skill levels. She's just squishy. People are like kind of able to focus on
at that lower level.
Yeah.
She's not even played, to be honest. Like, it's
Yeah, you
just
hardly
like,
see
she's
it.
just a fast hero to get out of spawn, but other than that, she's not there.
I do agree, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she got that adjustment, which just means that that she's now as well skill capped a bit more. And then the other change was Zen, and Zen had actually quite a few changes, but some would argue that half of them weren't really don't really affect him that much. So what they were was like a projectile reduction on his Discord and Harmony orbs, which basically means the time it takes from the orb to get from him to his target. Obviously, over longer distances, that actually has an impact, but over short distances and from what people have tested, it still feels pretty instant. One major change that does do, though, is some people would charge up the orb, launch it, and then Discord while some of the orbs were still flying at the target, and you could potentially get a little bit of extra chip, and this will just kind of like reduce that as well. So you have to like kind of pick your Discord before you hit your target rather than just like picking afterwards, which is, I think, a good change. And then also the reduction from the orb of Discord is reduced from 30% to 25 only. So a slight nerf to the damage reduction on that.
Yeah, so all of these nerfs
Nerfing
are
my
basically...
boy.
Yeah, I know. My boy, Abby, back off. Now, all of these are basically targeting main tank survival. It's no fun at the moment playing main tank. I mean, right now the meta and the highest sort of elos is Sigma and Balls. This is movable off tanks. I mean, look, you can argue, yes,
don't know
Hammond is
about
kind of a
you,
main tank
but
in that sense. Yes, I mean,
I don't really care about me. I just lock the Rhine and press the W.
yes,
Oh,
so that's okay.
Yeah,
Oosh.
that's
So
okay at gold
the
level. That's
changes
okay
don't
at gold
matter.
level.
It's
At
okay in
gold
gold
level,
level, Abby.
mystery.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
my god!
I'm just saying, gold level. It's Winston Ryan. That's the meta. That's
I
it. There's
I
nothing else. There's
I ain't
no
gold.
other meta. It's just Winston Ryan, and that's it. No one cares.
Winston just gets destroyed in this meta at the higher tier.
Yep.
You got
Yeah.
Trace
Melted.
following him constantly. You got Echo in the sky, and then Zen's Discord. He's basically done for.
Yeah.
Reinhardt, yes, he's kind of survival because he's with his team a little bit more. But you just put a Discord on that bloke, and he's down and out in 10 seconds. Especially with the focusing beam, which is a great nerf for Echo.
Well, now you gotta
and
wait
then-
to put on the Discord orb. So
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got the whole Orisa. The Orisa, I don't know, main tank, not played that much, but still double shield is kind of strong despite the sig nerfs, which does remind me of the focusing beam reducing or adding time, especially in Sig's case for that shield, not almost instantaneous. It's now you got to it's kind of more skilled based with that, 1 second now to 2.5. So I do like Blizzard's changes at the moment. They're meticulous and little and minor, but impacting the game slowly.
well, let's move on to the next topic then. We don't want to spend too much time, given that people are anxious to see the Megasheet.
Yeah.
So this next one will be pretty short. Talking about minimum latency support, something that Blizzard pushed out. I think it was back in November-ish.
Quite a while ago, yeah.
So, for those that don't know, minimum latency support, it was done to be able to have an even sort of playing field between regions that have ping discrepancies between people. So, for example, in OCE right now, you've got Perth, for example, which to the Sydney 1 service has around, I mean, you can get anywhere between 60 to 90 on average. New Zealand, I would think, would be less, but similar.
Yeah, it's about.
Depends on your internet, but yeah, usually. Oh, to Sydney 1, it's usually for me about 45 to 55.
Yeah.
But for Sydney 2, it's way higher. It's like in the hundreds.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
for people like us, who because I'm in Perth, you guys are in New Zealand, we all experience generally above 50, right? So for us, that feels normal. For someone
I'm
like
a little
Pap,
bit more fortunate. I've
for
got
someone like
about-
Pap, if once it gets over 10, Pap starts raging.
No.
It's like, I can't deal with
Oh
this
my
lag,
God.
All my
man.
stuff around the room. No. Yes, I can't relate to the 50s, but I am in high 30s, but that's like nothing
High
compared to
30s.
Serious.
High.
High 30s.
Get out of
So
here.
high.
Give me a hug. Alone. No, I'm Victoria, so I'm not that far at all from the Sydney-based stuff.
Yeah. So back to the minimum latency support. So what it does is you can set the latency to be everyone to have a minimum of say 50, and then everyone will have 50 ping at minimum. So like it adds ping to make sure that everyone's at the same level, which is good in a competitive sense. Like everyone at the same. No one's disadvantaged by the huge ping. But the problem is those that are on the low spectrum, which is the majority of players, given that most people are in the eastern states of Australia, in our region, adding extra ping to them is more of a disadvantage than, say, adding an extra 10 ping to someone from from New Zealand, or like we just take it on the chin. Whereas someone who plays in that good ping zone all the time, it's DPS start missing shots. So we put out a poll and it was sort of really inconclusive. So we won't be using minimum latency support this season of AOL. We feel that while it does even out the playing field, it worsens the experience for the majority of our users. So we may revisit that in the future.
I do have a question in terms of that. When there are server issues where we're on like not even Sydney, like the Sydney servers are down. What do we do then? Are we going to use it then?
I mean, usually when that stuff sort of happens, people reschedule, don't they?
Yeah,
if we have the option now.
I mean,
because everyone's on free. If Sydney goes down, then we connect to Singapore servers, and everybody and their grandmother gets 300 ping.
I can tell you, as someone from Perth, I get more Singapore servers than I do like Sydney servers because it's apparently better ping. You don't want to play on Singapore servers. They are not good. They are low quality. I mean,
well, I connect to LA before I connect to Singapore, so
New Zealand. So next thing, Patreon. We recently, AOE recently released their new Patreon. I say there, but it's mine as well. I work on it.
He works real good.
I work real good.
You work
previously there were 3 tiers, but they all had like the same perks. So there's new perks. So tier 1 is community. That's what we're calling it. Because it's the one for the community. It's $1. So not too much. Not too little. You get a special supporter rank. I think it's called top 500 in our hearts. In the Discord, and you're all pink, so that's worth the $1 alone.
Super cool.
Worth.
There will be graphical packs coming soon. So say you want an AOE wallpaper for your phone or your computer, or you want to color your Twitch stream with AOE stuff. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Rip. Mad
How
rip.
much time have you spent on all those?
I've made like 2 of them so far. We there's a reason it says coming soon. I've been spending all my time getting podcast and Megasheets ready. And you'll get sneak peeks to early blog posts. Some of our casters will be writing blog posts about different things. I am very close to finishing one on how we went about designing Valorant scoreboards, and the difference from Overwatch between them, and the different iterations we went through. It's a sort of a behind the scenes sneak peek kind of thing. And you'll also get access to Patreon exclusives. So, for example, we might do a couple things related to this podcast that only the patrons get. Special. And you get early updates. So, for example, this podcast, the patrons knew about it not 24 hours, but they knew about it the day prior to me announcing it. Mainly because I was in a time crunch and I got it done as early as possible. Anyway, the next tier is tier 2, early access. So, hang on one moment.
Abby's currently under the weather, so
just die quietly, all right?
All right, yeah. I muted it so the people don't have to hear me die. So early access, $5 a month. You get early access, as it says, to any sort of YouTube videos, so highlight videos and things like that. Oh my god, I just remembered some of the things I have to do. Anyway, so you get early access to highlight videos, maybe rejected videos.
Like this podcast.
You will also get early... Yeah, I might post segments I might post segments that you otherwise would not get because I cut them out because they were too Monka W.
Okay.
So you'll have early access to the podcast as well. So this will go up on the Patreon before going up on the the Twitch and Spotify and the rest of them. Not this one though, because this is we're recording this the day prior. Brilliant, good job, guys.
So organized.
Goddamn.
And for $5, your names will be in the credits. They'll be in the credits of this video too. And yeah, that's all for early access. Pretty good bundle. You also get all the perks of the previous dollar one. For behind the scenes, you get see this one's $10 a month. It's our highest one, and I think it's the one that people are going to want the most. So what do you get? You get this perk we call You Decide. So you get to choose who gets streamed, either in AAOL or the Conquest Clash, our Valorant tournament. This perk may only be used once every 3 months, so you can't just constantly be like, my team, my team, my team. You could use this perk to get your friend's team to stream. Also, that's all reliant on both teams agreeing to be streamed, and I was going to say something else.
There is small print.
There is small print. So you also get a special mention. You get mentioned vocally in our streams and videos. A thank you for your support. So I should probably actually do that right now, shouldn't I? Great time. So to thank our tier 3 patrons, Galileo, Random Thing, and Raiden. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for your support. You're amazing.
You.
There's another 2, but I only have their real names, and I'm not about to dox people.
I would give you happy dolphin water bottle noises, but I don't have my happy dolphin
No.
water bottle with me.
You said it was going to be for the podcast. How could you lie to me?
I'm sorry. In fact, I can't even,
Here to listen.
I can't even stay hydrated. I don't even have a water bottle with me. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I'm just drinking in front of you and you're like thirsty.
To run off mid-podcast. I'm sorry, guys. BRB.
So just before we get into the Megasheet, the thing that everyone's waiting for, I'm sure chat's popping off right now. Gotta talk
skip ahead.
about yeah, just skip the VOD. Oh wait, no, it's live.
Got him.
Unless you're viewing this on Spotify, which you can skip ahead. But even by then, the Megasheet will be out, so you don't even need to skip ahead. All right.
Yeah.
Conquest Clash. So that's our new well, not new. We've already run one season of it. Valorant tournament. So it's sort of like AOL. There may be a few tweaks over the time because not every game fits perfectly into the AOL format. I mean, we had 3 to 4 years of tweaking the AOL format to get it to what it is today. So yeah, there may be changes here and there. It's quite a fun one. We had a bunch of teams last season. The only problem was there was also a bunch of teams that dropped out last season. So there were a few forfeits. Hopefully I'll be able to mitigate it this season. I've got some new strategies. I went to the drawing board and decided what's up. Have any of you guys played Valorant before?
There was an extremely intense montage of Abby in front of a chalkboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a really aggressive cuts, and you had Dutch angles were even thrown in there with a couple.
I played a little bit of Valorant, but I don't know. The pacing is quite different to Overwatch. It's good fun though. It is like, you know, I played a lot of Counter-Strike in my time, 5,000 odd hours. So
Still
Valorant, yeah, the aim does convert, but I just find the abilities are like quite intrusive to the gunplay sometimes. But I guess that's kind of the point, right? So maybe it's probably suits some people.
Coming from the fast-paced, action-packed Overwatch, Valorant seems very like I enjoy it and it's fun, but it also seems very slow.
It's a lot more strategic. You really have to work with your team. Like there's no like you just carrying. It's just like you have to know what you are doing and where you're going.
Is that for Overwatch or Valorant? Because you'd almost argue both.
I'd argue for both. Like it goes back and forth.
Overwatch is
who you're
depends on the
playing with in
situation.
Overwatch. If you're playing alone, then no. But if you're
think
playing
it's
with
just
buddies,
a
then sure.
team-based game. I mean, unless you're in like gold or even plat, you get that Genji that just absolutely pops off. You can't really do anything without everybody, giving it their best.
That Genji that pops off, that's you, right, Pap?
Oh, bro, I'm always in those backline. I'm in the backline.
In the backline. Yo, we had to drop the title of the stream at some point.
I think the main difference with the speed of the gameplay is in the abilities. So like Overwatch is all on cooldown, whereas Valorant is buy your ability at the beginning of the round, use it however many charges it has, and then it's all in the gunplay from there. Like, so Overwatch is way more ability heavy than Valorant, which means that in Valorant you can't just walk out and use every ability and then come back and then go and do it again. You got to make that like flashbang count. You got to make this, this res ability work. Like it's all about smarter use, I think, of your abilities in terms of that kind of style.
Also the time to kill in Overwatch is so much larger than Valorant. You got a McCree, behind a barrier maybe, but you got easily 30 seconds of kill time, whereas Valorant, like CS, you've got a hair of a pixel to maybe get a headshot. Otherwise, it might be another 15 minutes until you see that bloke again. So, like the time to kill is a lot larger in Overwatch, and maybe that's why Valorant can also be very enjoyable if you like that more sort of aim heavy, raw mechanic. More mechanical skill, I'd say.
Okay, so let's get into the Megasheet.
The Megasheet.
All right, time to go. That's the end of the podcast. Nice.
So we were actually not discussing it. Release tomorrow.
It'll be in episode 2 where we dive even deeper.
or do we release only half of it and we come back to it?
Yeah. Oh my god, no!
You'll have to tune in tomorrow.
We still halfway to a div as well. We don't.
Yeah, you need to buy the Patreon to be able to get it. I mean,
$50, guys. $50.
If people Prime right now, if people Twitch sub Pat for Prime, we'll do it right now.
Yeah, Pat for Prime.
Pat for Prime, go guys, right now.
Serious. We'll get into it. Division 11. I was about to ask Mystery to do it just to get Mystery involved, but Mystery can't see it.
No. You still can't see it.
You're not in it. So Mystery's just on the edge of the seat like everyone else.
Mystery vibing right now.
I'm in the unknown.
So we will start with Division 11 because that's the division everyone cares about the most, right?
Yep.
That's where I belong.
So, underdogs.
The best of the best. So in Division 11, this season we've actually got quite a few new teams. It's crazy. So we've got Spartans coming in with an average of 21.65. Actually, I'm not going to read all the averages because I'll be here all day. So we've got Spartans, Toxic Academy, Atomic Fire, Wolves, RP. What was RP again?
Red Pandas.
Red Pandas, that's right. That I love that org. Red Pandas, Unbearables, and PK Mofra. I'm not too sure who PK is.
So I reckon if we just say so the sublimit for Div 11 is 2,400 SR. no higher, no low, no higher, no lower. Exactly. If you're not exactly 2,400, no. So sub limit's 2,400 for these teams.
That's
Yeah.
quite generous as well for that division.
It is
I think.
very generous.
Yeah. You'd like. I mean, there's no one that's there's no team that's got an average above 22. So, So who do you guys reckon is a good pick here for number one in the division? We're not gonna power rank anyone here, because we don't believe in that. It's a very casual tournament. We're just picking who we think is, who we think is of a high probability of coming around the top of the leaderboard for that division.
I would shoot for Atomic Fire because they came first in their div last season, and also the name is cool, and there's a band called Atomic Fire, and they've got some pretty fire songs. So they would be my pick for Div 11. You got Pat Pap's blessing on that one.
Yeah, let's go Atomic Fire.
I would probably go with Wolves, just because they came second in their last division, and also
no, they came third.
Okay, third, and then also because one of my best friends is in that
bit of
team,
bias.
so I'd probably get
bias.
killed if I didn't say Wolves.
Nice.
All right. Let's move on to the next division. Division 10. Stranger, take it away.
Yeah, so what do we got here? We got the Barbarics, Down Under Thunder, KE Durf, Bronze Baboons, Overblocks, and Whiplash. And the Div 10 region has the sublimit of 2,500, so just a little bit higher. And what's their average for these guys?
No higher than 2,300-ish, I reckon.
Was it 300? No.
About
Blocks is 23, 33.
Yeah, so around that 2,300 range.
Yeah. So we've got 3 new teams there, and the rest of them have changes. I reckon Bronze Baboons are an interesting group there, considering last season they won. They came first in Division 11, so surely they're gonna come first in Division 10, or not. They've got the lowest SR, but the best record in comparison to the rest of the teams. But Durf, I mean, me and Pap casted them the other day. They looked a bit shaky.
We didn't at least shout out the boys. Okay.
Yeah. They looked a bit shaky there for a little bit, but in the end, they had a pretty strong showing, especially on the last map, right?
Yeah, they did. Once those 2 subs, I'm a bagger, and there was one other that came through. The off tank. Anyway, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, but once you 2 came in, it really felt like a much more stable. Communication was higher. In fact, they took a map as well at one point. So I'm excited for KE Durf personally, and yeah, they'd be my favorites to go in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully they do well. I believe in them.
That's good.
So in that division, there was another Red Pandas team. Red Pandas sort of, I feel personally like they popped up out of nowhere, and then they've just got every team in existence.
Yeah.
They've got all the connections, all the right people coming
It's not
in.
what you know, it's who you know.
Exactly.
Connected orgs. And we've also got...
I really think that Barbarics are gonna win Div 10. Just gonna put that out there.
They're a new team.
Mainly because I'm on that team, so
Oh,
let's go Barbarics.
Hey!
Yeah.
No sense of bias here.
Yeah, no, only biased by mystery here.
My friends in this one.
I was just looking at how the tank line is kind of lifting up your SR there a little bit. I'm just wondering how it's back in the support scan.
Stranger.
Wow.
wow.
No, it's striking.
Don't pull out the receipts. Oh
Yeah.
my lord!
Okay.
And on that bombshell, let's move to Div 9. I will get Pap. You can read this one out, and you can announce it to the world. Welcome, Div 9.
Welcome, Div 9. You guys are Mythion, Eidolon, All Stars, Lyra, Luna, Yomaso, Yimaso.
You got to say the org as well.
United Esports, Yimaso, Tokyo Ramen, and TDE Mums, which is what's TDE Mystery? What's that one again?
Throw Daddy.
Throw Daddy Esports.
Throw Daddy Esports.
Sorry,
It's the
Daddy.
mum.
You
The mums
asked
have come out of
Mystery,
the
but I was
woodworks.
a manager there for 6 months.
Abby, you've been everywhere.
All right, yeah, true.
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 You're like Richie McCaw's number 7 everywhere when he played.
Oh my
Okay.
god. Me getting compared to Richie. I was actually more of a Dan Carter fan than a Richie.
Dan
McCaw fan.
Carter, of course.
Yeah,
Dan
you
Carter's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I always preferred him. I don't know. I was a rebel against the stands. Can you call
good
rugby
kid.
fans stands? Is that a thing?
No.
Anyway, Division 9. Who do we feel is really standing out to us?
We should probably mention that around the sub, the highest is Mythion Eidolon with 2,672, so about the sub limit of 2,700 here. But yeah, so a very diverse SR range actually in Div 9. I would, I don't know, I think my favorites would probably be Mythion Eidolon. I have cast one of their games before, and they showed up. They did very well there, and I'm hoping to see another resurgence of what I saw previously.
They also had a really cool logo. I gotta say, have you
They
seen
do.
the Mythion Idion logo? I had
Yeah.
so much
really?
fun turning that into graphics for AOL. I'll probably flash it up on the screen and show you later, stranger. It is honestly one of my favorite logos that I've seen in AOL. But
It's a big call, Abby himself.
yeah.
I think All Star Lyra, they're looking like a pretty good competition too, though, because last season they had second place,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
they're Div 10, so they've moved up a division, placing quite high there. So they'll probably be looking to keep that climb going, which should be driving them, I think. And they're not too far off on the SR really. It's only a very small range between them. So I think those guys would be quite a good matchup to watch if we can.
Yeah. I'll see if I can get that one going, as long as we don't get absolutely flooded with Patreon requests of stream my game.
True.
But we want to be. So
Where we want to be.
We want to be,
yes.
so please do it.
Flood us in. We want to be doing all Div 12.
Yes.
Div 12. There isn't a Div
Div
12,
11,
Pap.
12.
There isn't a Div 12.
Exactly.
We got rid of
My
that.
Div. It's Pap's Div.
Oh, God.
It's
I
just
am
Pap,
afraid of
and
my
then
own.
it's just Pap's Div.
Pap.
He just makes like 30 accounts and just full Patreons, the whole lot of them.
It's like
Shit.
it's like during the Rocket Cup we had those like 5 teams that named themselves Bloodborne.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes. I was casting for that, and that was hell. Bloodborne is
Yeah.
We still got to do that show match where we do like all 12 players are named Bloodborne and both teams are named Bloodborne, and we just have the cast
yes.
having hell. I think you volunteered for that, right, stranger? You were like, I'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna pre-record it and then put it on like a button and just be able to spam that the whole game. I think.
Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Next, Division 8. So this division, someone will have to read out the subcat because I don't have it on the page that I'm looking at. It has got Bobcats, Gary's Goats. What a banger of a name. Whoever came up with that, thumbs up to you, mate. Jameson Junkers, actually one of the like longest standing. If this is the same Jameson Junkers, these people have been here for like way too long, guys.
Long time. Yeah.
What are you doing still
What are
playing
you-
Overwatch? It stopped being cool over 3 years ago.
Jeez.
What are we doing then?
Jameson Junkers were around.
What am I
Jameson
here for?
Junkers were around
Yeah,
before
we're
me.
cool, aren't we,
I'm pretty sure.
seriously?
Before I joined the
Alright.
Overwatch scene, Jameson Junkers was still rolling. Anyway, we've got GG Andromeda. I don't know what the GG stands for. If anyone,
Galaxy Gaming.
there's a Galaxy. Man, there's so
Okay.
many orgs.
Yeah.
Combat
That's good.
Wombats
It's awesome.
and
Hey.
Hype Gaming, the Hype Beasts. Me and Pap.
Nice.
Also cast Abby.
Yeah.
Abby, so we cast between Hypebeast and KDerf the other day. That was it's a great cast. Very
Sublimate there of 2900 with them all averaging around just under 27, somewhere around 26ish in the team.
Yeah, it's really is between that 2,700, 2,600 range. So all of these battles here down at Div 8 will be really intense and neck, I'd say here.
Yeah. Any insight, Mystery? You got a finger on the pulse of the community? Any?
I do know that Bobcats are quite one to look out for. They're from the same org as Wolves. I don't have a bias towards them. I do have friends in there, but like I do know that they are quite good and they are a team to look out for, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well, they came fourth last season in the same division, so they'll be looking to probably try and improve that a bit this time round.
yeah, especially with the changes that have also come through. But my pick would be Hype Gaming Hype Beasts. They came first in Div 10, so they're now up at Div 8, and with a couple of roster
Ooh,
changes
big jump.
that I personally,
Big.
big jump, which I personally experienced when casting. They looked really, really strong. They are one of the lower SR teams in Div 8, but not by much. And I reckon they have a real chance to prove themselves here.
Nice.
Yeah. Division 7. Why don't we get... I'll get Mystery to do this one, and I'll give you the actual list, right, man?
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
Including
My
our
mouse
guest.
not working.
I think it's only fair
Yeah,
to make it talk about them all, but not be able to see any of them.
There you go. You got them in your DMs, Mystery. This is Division 7.
Thank you.
It's officially leaked, so it's out.
It's
Oh my
out.
god! Oh my god! I'm gonna send this to all my friends.
Oh god.
All my Division 7 friends.
So the first team is NG Revenant, then Flying Spaghetti Monster, Effect, Supernova, Divide Overflow, and Euphoria.
All very
I'm not sure.
all very old, like not old teams, but all very like long time running teams. Like I think Euphoria has been around for a very long time. Same with Divide Overflow. Divide Overflow is a disconnected esports team for anyone that doesn't know. Supernova, actually they're quite new. They came in last season, but they kind of they did alright in their division. I mean, they came fourth, but in Division 9, that's a big jump from Division 9.
Another big
Division
jump,
7. I mean, they had changes, so this is also our first division, by the way, that has a team that hasn't changed at all. Like, we're up to Division 7 from 11, and this is the first time we've had a team, Euphoria, which has no change whatsoever to their roster, or isn't a new team. There are so many new teams this season of AOL. It is. I don't recognize anyone. Please.
Div 7 is the old boys club. Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Only Revenant being the new team. That's it. So it's probably a lot of people that they probably played against each other before as well. You know, some of them would have had the chance to, but also a lot of them have jumped up from divisions below. So they're all kind of. It's going to be interesting because they've been together a long time. You kind of expect teams like that to have better communication, which kind of makes up for any skill gaps and that kind of thing generally. So them coming from lower divs up now, the communication needs to be strong because the opponents are going to be tough as well. So they've all got they're all going to have to work real hard to try and take that one out.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
with
well,
the SR range is quite close. They probably scrim each other quite regularly, so they'll know the ins and outs of each other's play styles, and each player. So the matchups will be tight, and they'll be close indeed. So the SRs are about the highest is around 2,800, with the lowest only being about 2,600 with Euphoria at no changes. But yeah. I'm hype. Let's go. I would
Yeah.
pick my fave. I don't know, Euphoria. Not have no change. That grants a lot of respect. I tried captaining and managing a team, and it didn't work that well at all. I always had to either have subs or like people just left, and to have a whole 4 months, 5 months of no changes. That's really impressive to me. So yeah.
Yeah,
I
and like in that division, like those group of people last season, they were spread all over the like Effect was in Div 10, Supernova was in Div 9, Divide Overflow was in Div 8, Euphoria was in Div 7, and Flying Spaghetti Monster was in Div 6. We had 10 to 6. So
Yeah.
it'll be an interesting division. Moving
Flew around the
on.
place.
Moving forward.
Moving
We've got
forward.
moving on
moving
up.
forward. We've got Division 6. What a chonky division this is, full of
This
familiar
is
faces.
extra chunk with a slice of pepperoni cheese. Div 6, we have Leyline Firebirds. Finally, a Leyline team in your AAOL.
Finally.
Finally. Yes. We'll talk on more of that in a second, but we have FA1, Leyline Firebirds again, Arachnophobia, eight-legged gaming. Is that what it is? So eight-legged gaming is the org, and then Arachnophobia is the team. Then we've got Koala's Esports, Mini Control, Mythion Harpies, and RP the Expendables. What's RP? RP is
Red Pandas.
Another Red Pandas. Let's go.
Oh, well, Missy likes this division.
Yeah, it's got a Leyline team in it. What do you
Got a
mean?
Leyline team in it.
Leylines.
So Leyland Firebirds is a collection of two sort of newer teams. My old team, and then the team that everyone ended up joining. They've got some amazing players. One of them, like Volpe, an amazing player. So look out for him if we end up streaming one of those games, or if you guys become a Patreon supporter, then
tell us to stream that
ask
game.
for Leyland Firebirds. Yeah, exactly. Ask us for Leyland Firebirds.
Mini Control, the legendary baby version of Mega Control, who are coming up next. For those that remember our streams last year, Mega Control absolutely rolled every single game they played. But yeah, Mini Control, they didn't fare too well last season, so maybe this season it's time to bounce back and live up to that Control OCE Esports name.
Did they have the same coach, those two teams, or are they different coach between them?
Sure, I don't even know if they had a coach.
I don't think
I know
so.
Mega Control had a coach. Mega Control had a coach who said that their idea of playing around controlling megas was a very dumb idea. So I know they had a coach. Moving on to Div 5, another banger of a division. I love Div 5. It would always, every season that Div 5 always turns out to have some of the well-known names in the region, and also is always really good to stream. I probably streamed more Div 5 games than any other on the AAOL Esports Twitch. So we've got Orion, the org. We've got their team, League of Extraordinary Subs, or Lows. No Ducks Given, one of our free agent teams from a very, very long time ago, who turned independent. Affliction Esports, a bit of a new team. Pulled Pork Micro, which is another familiar face. All-Star Hercules, another familiar face. I think we've had them on the stream before. And Bronze Lemurs. I don't know if I've streamed them before, but another familiar face. We've seen all these teams before, except for maybe Affliction Esports, who may be a rebrand. I don't know.
Yeah, huge change for Bronze Lemurs. They got Div 8. They did place first last season, but with some changes on board, and SR obviously have climbed, and now into Div 5. So a hell of a lot of grinding, especially mad respect. Overwatch, the grind is real. So placing eighth, placing first in Div 8 is a huge victory. So now they're into Div 5, big jump. Interesting to see how they go this time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in that division, there's a few scary faces though. If even if you are Bronze Lemurs jumping from Div 8 to Div 5, like Pulled Pork Micro, they came. I think they've done an even bigger jump. They've jumped from Div 9 to Div 5. So they're ready to pull their weight around and destroy some nerds. No thanks given. A team that historically has just sort of vibed, but also been very, very, very good as well.
Legacy Pro on the DPS has impressed me a few times on some casts, so they're one to look out for on No Ducks.
But yeah, League of Extraordinary Subs, team. Like they're the League of Extraordinary Subs. You can't. They're difficult to play against. All right. Let's move on to Division 4. That works. Pap, you want to take it away?
All right, I shall indeed. Div 4, ladies and gentlemen, is... I'm just going to say holy, but if it was realistic, it'd be like, holy!
There's musical notes on each end or something.
I don't know. I can't sing. I had to go.
There has to be.
Anyway, sorry about that. Then we've got TDE Dads, RP Bamboozlers, Toxic Adders, SGU Battalion. SGU, what does that stand for?
I know this somewhere. It was on one of my notes.
No, it's just SG United. That's it.
It stands for something, doesn't it?
Okay. SG United Battalion, and then a United Esports, Chinatown Boogaloos.
Excellent name.
An excellent name.
Oh yeah. You casted SGU Battalion back in week.
When did I do that?
Week 4 of season 11, stage 2.
Wow, how do you remember that? Okay.
I have my
notes
open. Yeah.
Well, I'll be back.
I got my notebook open.
Okay.
But yeah, you cast it with Haz.
Haz Day.
Yeah, that was So
they would have won that because they beat their Division 6 round coming out first.
Yeah,
so.
they would have won that. Huge. Chinatown Bugaloos was also huge as well, coming first in Division 5. So two powerhouses going at it. But I mean, the real question is, can holy? I can't sing. I'm flat as a
can't do it. Clears throat with malicious intent.
I mean, I'm just gonna blame myself being extremely sick right now on that.
Fair enough.
So I mean, whether or not Holy pulls out W and just rolls this div being the new kids on the block, we'll see. And Toxic Adders are back after 2 seasons of being away. So we will. That'll be one to keep our eyes on, eh?
Yeah, the newbies there will be interesting to watch.
Yeah, lots of newbie teams and then a couple of changes. So lots of Div 4 has really mixed around since last season.
So we've got 20. I believe I'm correct here in saying this. 29 new teams.
Oh my god! How did we get to that?
I mean, and it's interesting with that because obviously, typically the divisions are divided up with people's progression through the previous season and that kind of thing. But with so many new teams, it really does fall a lot more into that SR to help guide where they go, because there's just so many new people joining in the ranks. We can't just put them all at the bottom and make them work up, So that kind of affects how people move around the ladder, and that's why there's probably a lot of big jumps as well from previous divisions.
Yeah. So Division 3. I'll get you to take it, Stranger.
Yeah, sure. So we got Dire Esports, the Diamond Surfers out there. We got Mega Control, Koala Esports' big boys. Upgrade Complete, another great team that I've cast before as well. QUT Anomaly. What's QUT? Sorry, I'm the. Anyone know? No. Abby, we'll come back to it. Another Koala Esports, better temporary name. That's surely got to change.
Great temporary name.
Nah, we'll keep it forever. And then DH Lucid as well coming in there.
That's Dreamhaven.
Dreamhaven. Abby, did you know QUT? QUT Anomaly, do you know what that's for?
QUT. I feel like I should know this. QUT.
Probably.
Probably.
I don't know.
We're looking at about
there's
an SR range of like 3,000 to up to 3,300, so a bit of variance there.
There's so many orgs. I need the spotter's guide.
Sure.
Yeah. If you're an org and we didn't say your name here today because we didn't know what it was, please DM me. I need to know what these orgs are, so I can support you.
Yeah, all four of us at once.
So I can retweet your tweets and promote your teams, please. Please DM me.
Yeah. Get it right on the casting night.
Yeah. That does help us, especially if we're mispronouncing anything as well.
Anyway, in that division, I am going to say I think Mega Control are the top pick for that team. I mean, if you come into AAOL and your first season is a season where you drop one map in the entire season, I'm gonna be backing you the next, even if they did take a season off or a stage off.
Yeah, they looked incredibly strong in the charity stream that Koala Esports hosted as well. Mega Control versus Mini Control. They had the Mega Control over the match. Really, I know. Sorry, my pun game. It's too funny. It's too punishing. Yeah. So my pick would also be Mega Control for this one. I am super hyped.
So Division 2, who's in that one, Pat?
Oh, I'm coming. So, Div 2, ladies and gentlemen, you guys, TDE, boys having a cold one, and then we've got Isaki.
That's a red panda. The sheet that I gave you doesn't have it, but yeah.
No worries. Okay, so Red Panda, Izaki, United Esports, Faith, Ordway Fan Club, and then I think the highest KE team we have Pink Lightning. Oh no, this is another KE team. Tourbillon High Jump with a free agent team, PPE.
Ah yes, PPE. They've finally made their return to the region. For those that don't know, PPE, or Paper Plane Esports, is an organization which has been around for donkeys now. They're longer than me, and they have had contenders range teams to plat range teams to I believe they had a gold range team. So I think they took off. The last team dropped a while ago. I don't have any notes on it. Sag. I think it was April last year. So they're back. They're ready to go. And they picked up a free agent team. For those that don't know, free agent teams are programmed for people to sign up as an individual, and we put them in a team. This time, there wasn't as many people, so the team's a bit interesting in the fact that it has 4K DPS players and some and the rest of the members of the team are relatively lower than 4,000 SR, which I can only dream of. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out.
Yeah, my pick for this team, THJ, Tourbillon High Jump. I love casting those guys. They always pull out the most hilarious comps just to really mix up the opponent. And that definitely can pay off. Yeah, if you don't play against your Sim Bastion randomness, you're not expecting it, then it can really take the enemy team for a loop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another strong one that I've seen before, Pink Lightning, again, Koala Esports on that one, is another good team that I've cast before that's actually put on like a really good show too. And their SR range is like quite variant as well in terms of some of the players. So I think that a lot of these teams are they vary actually, a lot of them quite much between players, but obviously the average is pretty solid. So it's interesting to see how those kind of mixes come up.
Yeah, indeed. Also, I just got to make a really quick correction. I said United Esports, Faith Ordway fan club. I actually meant Unrivaled Esports. My apologies there. But yeah, no, you guys, sorry. That's just Pap being Pap. But a lot of these teams in Div 2 have been in some of these teams in Div 2 have been in Div 2 previously, with Boys having a cold one and Tourbillon High Jump experiencing Div 2 last season. Pink Lightning have come up from Div 3 to Div 2, and then 3 new teams as well. At the Paper Planes Esports free agent team has made it to Div 2. Moving on to the big one, the finale. Everybody's
the big one.
What team made it to Div 1, Abby? What?
All right. Oh, yes. I'm very happy I get to do this one. So we've got I get to do the big boys, the one everyone's been waiting for.
The big boys. You're totally right.
So we've got hang on. You bring this over here. So we've got, oh my god, where is, I'm definitely cutting this fella.
Don't even have it ready.
So,
Jeez.
So we've got Inshallah FC. I don't know whether I'm spelling that right. Pandits, Surge Electronic Sporting Gaming Club. It's a bit of a mouthful.
Classic.
I'm not gonna lie. It kind of made my spreadsheet a bit large. That's gonna get clipped, isn't it? I feel like that's gonna get clipped.
I'm gonna do it myself.
Oh, great! Thanks, Mystery. We've got Spectral, Red Panda, Pandemonium. What a banger of a premier team that is. Pandemonium for Red Pandas.
Perfect. We'll play on words.
And we've got the all-time reigning champ, Corrupted Academy, who came first in Division 1 for the last 2 seasons of AAOL.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to give it to these boys because they have shown no sign of faltering. They've just been cleaning the divs, and I don't even have to edit my my graphic when I go to post the division winners at the end of the season.
It's very kind. It's very kind of them.
Oh, that's the reason why you're rooting for them, then, isn't it?
Yeah, it means you don't have to do so much work. Poggers.
Yeah. 4 new teams. Surge Electronic Sporting Gaming Club is another one that's had no change since last season, but all of these teams, of course, will be extremely high in your SR. We've got Inshallah FC at the highest of every team at 4,022, and then you got your Corrupted Academy at 3,600.
Actually, so I think that no changes on the Surge Esports team is incorrect.
Is it?
American?
Yeah, it's incorrect. Lynx left the team, I believe. And it's now been replaced by the I don't know whether to say currently contenders player or previously contenders player. No toast for you.
Toast.
We'll toast. So yeah, we'll
no longer bread.
No longer
he's
bread.
toasty, mate.
They cook up
hot.
so fast.
Yeah, he's running on hot, mate.
That's what you say whenever someone makes contenders now. They cook up so fast.
It was like a toast joke, you know, bread to toast. They cook up so fast.
So
I think
Corrupt
everyone
Academy
got that,
has had a-
Pap.
Sorry, my bad. Play my own joke. Oh no.
So Corrupt Academy had like a pretty good run, but I'm not sure. I think that they're going to be given a hard time this time. So like all the new teams are really solid. Most of them are higher average SR than them. And even Surge Electronic, which was in Div 1 last time, got 3rd place. So it's not like they were down the bottom end. They're also up there, giving them a hard time too. So they're gonna have to work to keep that number 1 if they're wanting to get it for the 3rd time. But a hat trick would be pretty nice. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree, but I also think that the Red Pandas teams are definitely gonna try and give them a run for their money. Because I have heard that they've been, hard out practicing every day, every week. So, like, yeah, give them a good one. To be
Our Red
honest.
Panda's gonna pull a constellation. I don't think anyone gets that when I say it here. I used to run an org at the beginning of 2020 called the Constellation. Our first season into AAOL was literally all 5-0s, and including Ascent until we dropped a map after a couple of weeks. So, are they going to come out strong? I hope so. Follow in my footsteps, boys.
Abby walked, you could run.
jeez.
Yeah, exactly. First in Div 1, Div 5, Div 7, Div 9. I've conquered every div. I mean, by managing teams that conquered those divs. You guys did the work, I guess.
Yeah, it was all you.
Yeah, it was all me. I played in every div.
And the power of positivity.
That's why I've got the 2020 Esports spray, which I flex in every game of Overwatch.
Nice.
My power of positivity. Go. Go, Abby. Go.
There are 5 Red Panda teams, so they're coming out strong out of the gate. They range from Div 11 to literally Div 1, so they're everywhere. They're ready to roll. We got Unbearables, Barbarics, Bamboozlers, the Expandables, Pandemonium. I love this alliteration.
I love every team name. My gosh.
The alliteration is brilliant. I mean, you compare it to something like Koala Esports, which, sorry to bag on you, Koala Esports. I mean, you knew I was going to do it. You've got Katie Durf, Mini Control, Mega Control, better temporary name, and Pink Lightning. I mean, the only two I like there are Mega Control and Mini Control.
Oof.
Oof.
Sorry, King.
Damn, you're really saucing on them with that.
Yeah, oof. So we will be streaming this season, like last season. A few little changes here and there to up the quality, up the ante. With Pap and Stranger, you guys aren't coming out the gate being the first 2 on. I think Stranger is, right? Yes, that's right. Stranger and Nikki, first week, aren't you? Didn't I message you about that? Or am I missing?
Yep.
Yeah,
We'll go
totally.
with it. We'll go with it.
All right. This is my DM to you
Cool.
asking if you want to do it.
Sounds great.
Brilliant. Yeah, so we'll be out of the gate with those 2. I want to announce the teams that I was hoping to stream because I don't know whether or not they're going to accept it being streamed. So we won't put pressure on them. The Megasheet link should be in chat now. Myself or Bloodborne should post it there. / there should be an announcement post. I say that as well. Yeah. I think we can wrap our first podcast up. It's been a bit rough for me personally, being sick and coughing every 2 seconds.
You can see my reactions every time it happens.
Oh no. I'm going to have to go through and clip that and make that a highlight video. No.
Abby saying how big the spreadsheet is, and me having a go at singing some notes.
Highlight
The
the
whole
chat
lot.
coming soon, definitely.
Abby.
Well, I think we better wrap it up here, so I can go edit for 5 hours and not get any sleep.
Sounds
Yay.
healthy.
Or I'll just upload it as a complete one shot.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
this
Good
is-
job.
Easy.
Let's
Perfect.
So this has been In the Backline with Pap, Adaka,
Thank you. Pap, Idaka.
Stranger,
Call me Pap.
and Mystery. We will see you next time. Maybe not Mystery. We might, we might get another guest next time.
We'll get
Mix
another
it up.
guest.
Yeah,
Shuffle
find
it
someone
up.
else.
You've been fired. Sorry.
Fired every second of this.
Fired Leyland stream. All right. Well, yeah. We
Thank you
will,
all. Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Yes.
Yeah.